Hi, and welcome to Q's Workshop. Today I'm going to be cleaning up the Spirit Level that I found at the market. I got it at the same guy that was selling the finger oiler or thumb oiler. It's got a bit of wear and tear on it, but I definitely think it can be saved. Most of the work will probably happen on the wire wheel, just getting all the surface rust and some overspray of some sort that's on here, some silver spray paint. But it's still, overall, it looks in good condition, especially when I look on this side. It looks like it's mostly just surface rust. But yeah, let's get this stripped down, and then we can get cleaning. So I'm not going to lie, I have checked these screws just after I got it, just to see how easily they will come out, because there is some rust actually on the screws. So I just checked them lightly with a screwdriver to see if are they loose, or should I put some oil on them before I try and loosen them. But yeah, they came out pretty easily. One thing I have to keep in mind is the orientation of these, because I want to put them in exactly as I took them out, and that's just in case it's been calibrated in a specific way. For instance, that this bottom section was ground after these were placed, because I'm not sure how the actual setting of these work, so I'm just going to keep the orientation exactly as I take them out. So I'm just going to stick those one side, and then just make sure that I always get back to them in that, or put them back in that same way. As I said, most of the cleanup on here is probably going to happen on the wire wheel. I'll be very cautious on this bottom section, because obviously I don't want to damage this ground piece on the outside, or I don't want to wear it down at all, because it might be ground in with how level these are, the same as these little standoffs that the actual Spirit Level rests on. So I'll be very cautious with those pieces. Let's get the wire wheel bench grinder on, and then we can start cleaning that up. Right, got the bench grinder clamped down. Let's give it a go and see how it cleans it up. See if it cleans this paint off. Oh, that cleaned up nicely. Now let's get it all done like that. So just some of these areas it's a bit difficult to get in with a large wire wheel. I might just look at getting into those spots with the small Dremel wire wheel. But it's cleaning up nicely. I've taken a look at these, and the corrosion is a little bit heavy on here for maybe just a soft buffing wheel. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to very lightly touch it up against the wire wheel and see if I can get this cleaned up. I think it will clean up nicely, but just very lightly. Right, everything's buffed up now. Most of it was done just on the wire wheel. I was going to use the Dremel, but I just used a wire wheel on the drill. I realized I don't have any wire wheels for the Dremel anymore, so I just used the wire wheel. There are some little pieces, but I'm just going to spray that with oil and see what that does, because it's difficult to get to that with the wheels that I have available. But ultimately it came nice and clean. So I'm going to spray everything. I use this CRC SP350 corrosion protection on everything now, just to help with keeping it nice and clean, because it stands around in the workshop. It picks up corrosion very quickly. Right, time to assemble. So as I stated in the beginning, I marked each piece to ensure I have it on the right side. So this one in the top here, I've marked it blue, which means it has to face up. This one as well, it's marked blue there, has to face up. I've always kept these two on the right side when it's on my workbench, so I know which side is on the left and which side's on the right. I also marked this over here with a stamp over there to indicate that this should be on, the stamp should be on the left, and I also marked this one with some blue in there, meaning that this side needs to be on the left. So each piece has been marked. So now it's just getting it all together, and then we can see what it looks like when it's done.
Just to get it to take properly. Here we go. Here we go.
Okay, we're over here by the mill. That's just because this is a pretty flat surface. Just the mill itself is not perfectly level, so it's not going to register perfectly level. But how you would check this is when you put down, so when I put this down and we see where it is, when I turn the level, it's supposed to be in the same place, because essentially the level is then just the opposite way around, but it should be measuring exactly the same. The measurement shouldn't change dependent on which way around I use the level. So if we take it now, the line is closer to the left hand side, okay, and if I turn it this way, so I'm just putting it flush here with the front. If I put it here, the line is closer to the right hand side, which tells me that the bubble isn't centered to the actual level. But what I was thinking is, obviously somebody else might have taken this apart before I did, meaning that these little glass tubes could be the wrong way around. So let's just turn this around. So I originally put it with my blue dot on the left hand side with the marking that I made, but let's switch it around and put it on the right hand side and fasten it in, because as I mentioned, these flat edges here and those flat edges there are ground specifically for one another, or at least it was put together with those flat edges on one another before they ground the bottom part of the level. So they put all these glass tubes in place, and then they grind this bottom piece to make it level. Now obviously if you go and flip this around, you're probably messing around with that concentricity. Alright, so if we take that and we look at it now, well, that looks like it's probably perfectly in the middle to what I can see. Okay, and then what we're kind of hoping for is if we do it this way around, it looks exactly the same. Yeah, there, perfectly in the middle. So I guess my mill is relatively level then, but I guess for the purpose of checking this level, as long as when I turn the level and that reading is exactly the same as what it was on the first reading, so if that reading is the same as this reading, then the level is calibrated. And that's really the only one I'm really worried about. These two on the edges, I can test them at a later stage, but I guess this is the most important one. But that's it. That's it for the cleaning up of the level. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.